Hey guys, how's it going? So, just make sure this is going through properly, which it is. So, it's been a little while since visited this project. It was getting pretty complicated. So what I'm going to try and do to try and just get back into it is just go into some of the source code, and the plan is to migrate some of the C++ code over to blueprints. And ideally what I want is to have it so the C++ code is doing the heavy lifting and making this kind of snippets, but then blueprints is going to be putting all the little pieces together in a slightly more coherent way. So just a bit of a recap of where left off with the project. So we had all the menu and stuff set up. So just start something like this. We got all the movement sorted out, all the rotating. As you can see on the bottom left, we've got basic stuff like time and date advancing. Got a pause menu, continue, and we've got the basic buildability. So we can build some static items at the moment, such as a runway, and we can also bulldoze them. Clicker. And we also made a start on the functionality for the networking, so building roads, rail, taxiways, for example. And that's where the code started to get quite complicated, especially like building all the splines. So if I do show splines 1, and we can kind of see where that got to. So we start to make the method for building splines like this, and where it was starting to get complicated was building this functionality to detect where splines are intersecting. So you kind of got to that point, and as you can see, it's kind of working, but it's kind of rough. But then the idea was to use that to then split the splines into different sections, and that's where it kind of left off. And if we take a look at the C++ code, there's a few elements towards it. So we've got the actual buildability. So this is the actual, as the name implies, the actual ability. We've got the buildability target info. So this is those placement points. So where we're clicking on the scenery to make those control points. So network segment start. Yeah, so that's helping to build the splines. Building target actor. So this is, I believe, the ghosts. Yeah, so we've got bulldoze overlay materials. Yeah, so for bulldozing and building. Build state. So this is just the current state of the build mode. We're either building or bulldozing. Build target reticle. So this is probably the actual, yeah, so this is the actual preview ghost. Valid target material, so we have some material set up for defining when it's in a valid location. Network placement stage. So this again is to do with the building of the splines. So where the start of it was, where the end of it is. And there are some other aspects of it to go into. So really it makes sense to start from the very top with the buildability and start transferring some of that code over to blueprints. Just to ease back into it, I'll probably do like an hour, just see what we get done. This is going to be quite a destructive part of the project because I'm going to be taking out quite a lot of the C++ code and transferring over to blueprints. So I've backed up the project already at a point where I can revert it back to how it is now if it all becomes a complete mess. So I think I've had a little look through already, and I think I'll make a start by creating the blueprint version of the buildability, which I think we might have already, and potentially transferring the activateability and endability over. At the moment, they're reasonably straightforward, I believe. So if we take a look at the code here, the activateability just plays a sound, then it spawns build target actor, then it broadcasts this. So we do need to make sure this is available in blueprints. And the endability again plays a sound, cancel targeting. Okay, so we're going to have to make sure we get this done. Reset network placement stage, so that's shifting that back to the original part. So we might have to make that blueprintable. And activate build state. Okay, so that's going between bulldoze and build state, and then we've got another broadcast, so we want to make that blueprintable as well. So we'll start by going into the blueprint. So we've already got the actual blueprint here. And we can see that at the moment it's literally empty. So it's purely in C++. So if we override the activateability, call the super method, okay, and we'll go into a sequence, and we'll just kind of systematically move this over. Alrighty, so playing the sound cue. So at the moment we've got this stored in sound cues, which I believe is a struct we've got somewhere. Yeah, so this is a custom struct, blueprint type, okay. So we should be able to access this. Yeah, blueprint read only. So we should be able to get hold of that. So play sound 2D. And what was that called? Sound cues. Get sound cues, there we go. Alright, and should be able to break that. And we are going for ability activated sound. Okay. Oh, come on up. Okay. Cool. Alright. So that should be that. So play the sound, and now we need to spawn the target actor. So let's just minimize this for a sec. Okay. Oh, never mind. Right. So we need the target actor class, but we could probably do away with that. We only need to store that as a variable so that we can select in blueprints to then use it in C++. But if we're doing it directly in blueprints, then we don't actually need to do that. So let's go here, spawn actor from class, and should be the only one really. Build in target actor. Yep, I believe that's the wrong one. And I believe, so we're just spawning it, run replace, and building target actor start targeting. let's just see what that is. And we probably want to store that as well, which we probably do. Build in target actor. Let's just see if that is. Okay, so we need to update this a little bit so we can access that variable in Blueprints. So move this to protected. New property. We want it to be blueprint read and write. Category building. Now might need to close this for now. Recompile it. Haven't changed any of the C++ code, so this should just recompile without too many issues. That should open up in a moment. Unless I just built. Because then we can access that target actor both in Blueprints and in C++. So we go back to here, and it was called build in target actor. Let's set that. Cool. And then we were start targeting. Okay, so that is probably at the moment a C++ only class. So we're going to go to definition. Declaration, here we go. So public view function blueprint callable. We'll see if the hot reload is going to work for us. It's been a little while since I've worked on this project, so here. Okay, Control Alt. So then we should be able to access that start targeting method. Close what's in there. Okay, well let's just pick it up again. And that should really be the activateability completely transferred over. Okay. Refresh this. So build and target actor. Set. And start targeting. Self. Reticle class. For now I'm not sure if we're actually presetting one in the target actor. Probably are. Let's have a quick look. Yeah, we do. But whether we're setting that immediately, let's have a look in the constructor. We call spawn target reticles inside of there. And those should be set. So that's being called inside of the in the start targeting method. So we should be okay for now. That should already be set. So I think that should be fine. So move that there. Going back to, yeah, so we go to ActivateAbility, play the sound cue, spawn the build target actor. Now we need to broadcast this on buildability active changed. We probably need to make that blueprint callable as well. So that'll be these two here. Not sure what exactly it needs to be. You read only, I imagine. See if it will allow us compile again this time without crashing. Apparently that's done. Add a new pin to that. Then on build ability active changed. Right. So we'll close that. Should build that. And then the trick will be to make sure that the blueprint version of that ActivateAbility has been used, and then ditch the C++ implementation of it. Okay. So let's give us a slight error there again. Okay. Ability. Let's see. What am I missing there? I don't believe it's supposed to be a U function. Let's try it out anyway, just in case. probably. Let's just leave it as flat for now. There's public. Okay. You know what? It might be on and ability on build state changed. Yeah, I'm not sure why that's not showing up. Blueprint assignable. Or we'll just leave the we'll leave it in the C++. Okay, let's see. No, so I don't know what's going on there. So we'll leave this in here. We'll comment out this stuff. Then, just so you can see this still being called. Just draw this. Can't remember how to do this. Leave that. So that should get called first. And then the blueprint should also get called. And if I can figure out how to call that from inside blueprints, I'll be able to just completely delete that C++ implementation. So I believe this probably just needs something like that. Yeah. Let me just do just test. Just make sure that's all good. Save. Okay, cool. Yeah, great. So that's working. Tighten this up a little bit. One last thing I will try is blueprint assignable, apparently. Let's see if that'll do it for us. Because then we can, if we can get that working, we can then just delete the activate code and also delete the spawn target actor code. And already we've started the process of just simplifying the code base a little bit. Okay. So we go back here, back into the buildability. Buildability changed. I know what I need to do. So no, okay. I will leave that for now. Then we will delete this. Don't need that anymore. And we'll also delete the spawn target actor method. Don't need that anymore. And we also don't need this anymore. Oh no, yeah we do. Just the class, we could probably ditch that now. We don't need that anymore. We'll just comment it. So still got it. Let's test that's still working. Yeah. Borders. Okay, so that seems to be working. Cool. Great. So we can ditch that. Alright, so that's first method simplified. Ideally, I'd like to figure out how to be able to call this in blueprints. Let me just try one more. Blueprint callable. See if that will do it. Not sure that's a valid thing for you property, so I don't know if that will compile. If not, I'll move on. do the endability. And when we do call it, so it's true. Okay. Well, save and ditch that. I think we'll be able to tell if that's working because I'm pretty sure the HUD relies on that to know to show the build widget. Continue. And that's still working. Okay, so that should be fine. Cool. So we can delete this now. We'll keep the signature for now. And we can also update that one. Let's do the endability now. It's going to be a similar deal, just kind of working our way through the code, just moving it over to blueprints. And before I do that though, let's cancel targeting and destroy. Let's just make sure that they are blueprint callable. And that one. Just like the destroy method on it. Yeah, okay, that's probably standard one. We might have to keep a little bit of this code in here. So reset network placement stage. We'll want that to be in protected. New function blueprint callable. Then activate build state. We can also move these to protected. And that is already set, so that should have all the bits we need available. keep that for now. Okay. So same process as before. We're going to OnActivateAbility, create a sequence, call it the parent sequence. Actually, we'll do the same thing here. Take the sound cues, break, play sound, and it's going to be ability deactivated, presumably. Okay. So we play the sound. We need to get built-in target actor. Check it's valid. And then if it is, okay. What about the destroy method? Yeah, so we've got the destroy actor. What is this actually doing here? Yeah, so we do need that to be triggered. So we might need our target actor to have its own method that we can call. But I just want to see why. Super cancel targeting. Surprised we can't call it from. Okay, a little bit more complicated then. Not to worry. For now, we will create cancel targeting. Make this function. And that will just call declaration. So then we should be able to call that OnCancelTargeting and a distract class method. Okay. Got a sequence in here. Bring over the top and destroy it. And then reset network placement stage. Should be able to do. Call it from there. And then activate build state. I think that's probably a little bit overkill. Cool. Okay, so let's do that. And then let's probably actually just ditch all of that. And we'll go and get rid of that. Let's see. So we'll be able to tell if that's working again if it does properly remove the build widget. It's a bit like the activate method, it's used that broadcast to tell the HUD to add and remove the build widget. Okay, it's working. Cool. Oh. Okay. Just see what's going on here. Not sure why that's the case. Yeah, I imagine it's something to do with this. just check then, is in the outliner. So if we're going to build, we should see building target actor, then we should see that be removed, which it isn't. Okay. So we'll need to try and figure that out, but for now, not too bothered about that. So we'll get rid of that. Ooh. Ooh, what's going on here? Went a little bit too far. Yeah, just want to delete that. And for now, see if I can actually just remove some of these other methods. We don't really need those anymore. So it'd be nice just to ditch these and just directly set. See what they actually do. Can we? Okay, yeah, we'll leave that then. Yeah, okay, we'll leave that as it is for now. That's fine. Then really, I think I'll probably leave it there for now. So just gently just breaking our way back into this project, just gradually simplifying this code a little bit, and then once it's got a bit more simplified, we can then start building it back up a bit more. Just make sure this is working as it is. Cool. And yeah, great. Okay, cool. So yeah, that seems to be working. So we've created our OnActivateAbility functionality, move that all over, and we were able to delete the spawn target actor method, because now we just do it here. And then our endability, we now do it all here. So we play the sound. This we can access. Spawn a target actor. We call the onBuildAbility active changed, and that updates the HUD. And anybody else that needs to be subscribed to that. Then the endability is pretty much the same. It just destroys the target actor instead. I'll need to figure out what's going on here, because that was giving us a slight issue. Yeah, it still doesn't like that. So I'll have to see what's going on there. And then it just resets the placement stage back to the default state, and same for the activate build state. So it just switches out a bulldozer state, puts back, and then broadcast the buildability state change, which is the same as the one we call when we open the buildability. It just informs the HUD. That's all good to go. Cool. Yeah, so I think I'll leave it there for now. I'll take a look at what I'm going to simplify next, and then go from there. Really just kind of work our way systematically through the build system. Just start transferring some of the code over so we can just simplify the C++ a little bit, as it was getting quite complicated. And then, yeah, go from there. So, yeah, cheers. See you next time.